Welcome to our podcast. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Such an innocent little phrase, right? So harmless, so reasonable, so convenient. It's what we say when we don't feel like doing something right now, when we think we have all the time in the world, when we trick ourselves into believing that the future version of us will be more responsible, more energetic, more disciplined than we are in this moment. And maybe for a while that lie works, until one day you wake up and realize later never came. You told yourself you'd start that book, that project, that workout routine later. You told yourself you'd have that conversation, take that risk, make that change later. You postponed the things that mattered, thinking there would always be more time. But time doesn't wait. It never does. And here's the thing. Later is seductive because it feels like a promise. Like a gentle reassurance that we're not saying no. We're just saying, not now. It makes us feel like we're in control. But in reality, every time we say, I'll do it later, we're handing over control to something else. Distraction, laziness, fear, or just the illusion of infinite tomorrows. You know what's funny? If someone stole your wallet, you'd be furious. If someone took money straight from your bank account, you'd fight to get it back. But time, the most valuable thing you own, you give it away so easily, and you don't even realize it. Because the theft is silent. It happens in the little moments, the extra hour scrolling through nonsense, the 10th time hitting snooze, the days, weeks, months lost in meaningless routines that you never questioned. And then, at some point, life taps you on the shoulder and asks, was that really what you wanted? Or did you just get comfortable delaying the things that scared you? Because that's the real reason, isn't it? It's not just procrastination, it's protection. We push things to later because they're uncomfortable now, because starting is scary, because failure is possible. But let's be brutally honest for a second. What's actually scarier? The discomfort of starting or the regret of never trying? And be careful, because regret isn't loud at first. It whispers. It shows up in small ways, the twinge of envy, when you see someone doing what you always wanted to do, the frustration that bubbles up when you realize you're in the same place you were a year ago, the quiet voice in the back of your mind that says, this isn't what I wanted. But here's where things get interesting. Because the opposite of I'll do it later isn't I'll do it all right now. It's not about hustling nonstop, burning yourself out. It's about making a different choice in this moment. Right now. Because the truth is, action isn't something you wait to feel ready for. It's something you create by starting. The smallest step in the right direction still moves you forward. And yet, we convince ourselves that if we can't do something perfectly, if we don't have a foolproof plan, if we're not guaranteed success, then it's better not to start at all. That's a lie. Waiting for the perfect moment is like waiting for the ocean to stop, having waves before you jump in. You'll stand on the shore forever, and life doesn't slow down for your hesitation. The days pass, whether you use them or not. That book you wanted to write, someone else is writing theirs. That skill you wanted to learn, someone else is already practicing. The change you wanted to make, someone else is making it. And that's not meant to make you feel behind. It's meant to wake you up. Because this isn't about comparison. It's about realizing that your potential is slipping through your fingers while you wait for some mythical later that never actually comes. The scariest part? Most people don't even notice it happening. They get caught in the loop, wake up, do the same thing, tell themselves they'll start tomorrow, and that tomorrow becomes another tomorrow and another. They never make the shift. They never even realize they had a choice. But you do. Because if you're listening to this right now, if there's even a small part of you that feels uncomfortable, that recognizes yourself in these words, then congratulations, you're awake enough to see it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So what now? Because awareness alone isn't enough. You already know you've been putting things off. You already know time is passing. Knowing isn't the problem. Doing is. And the only way to break the cycle of later is to take back control of right now. Not in some dramatic movie montage kind of way. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. But you do have to stop negotiating with yourself. Stop acting like your goals are optional. Stop waiting to feel like it. You won't feel like it. Do it anyway. Because here's what's interesting. The people who get things done, they don't necessarily have more time or more talent or more energy than you. They just stopped waiting for the right mood to take action. You don't feel motivated? Move anyway and motivation will catch up. You don't feel ready? Start anyway, and readiness will grow from experience. You don't know exactly how. Begin anyway, and clarity will come through action. You can live your whole life waiting to feel ready, Or you can decide that ready is just an excuse wearing a fancy outfit. So ask yourself, what is one thing you've been saying you'll do later? Not 10 things, not everything, just one. What if you did it now? And don't just think about it. Thinking is easy. Imagining is effortless. We do it all the time. Picturing ourselves as the person who finally gets in shape, finally starts that business, finally learns that language, finally takes control. In our minds, we've already done it 1,000 times. But thoughts don't build anything. Only action does. And action isn't just about big dramatic moves. It's the quiet discipline of doing what needs to be done even when no one is watching. Even when the results aren't immediate. Even when progress feels invisible. That's where most people give up. They start. They don't see change fast enough. They stop. But the ones who keep going? They understand something crucial. Progress isn't obvious at first. The seed you plant today won't be a tree tomorrow. But that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Most people quit during the invisible phase. The time when effort feels like it's going nowhere. The workouts before the body changes. The late nights before the business takes off. The hours of practice before skill kicks in. And because they don't see instant proof, they assume they failed. But real success? It's not about big wins. It's about who can handle the silence of effort before the applause. Because there's always silence at the start. You write and no one reads. You post and no one watches. You practice and no one notices. You improve, but the mirror doesn't reflect it yet. And this is where "I'll do it later" sneaks back in. It tells you, maybe now isn't the right time. Maybe I should wait until I have more energy, more confidence, more certainty. No, the right time isn't something you wait for. It's something you create by moving forward even when no one is clapping yet. So let's get real for a second. If you don't start now, what exactly are you waiting for? A sign? A moment when it suddenly feels easy? A version of yourself that magically wakes up one day with unstoppable motivation? That's not coming. What's coming is more of the same unless you interrupt the pattern. And the good news? You can, right now. In this exact moment. No grand gestures needed. Just one action. One sentence written. One rep done. 1 minute practicing. One step taken. Because the person who wins isn't the one who makes the biggest leap. It's the one who refuses to stay still. So the real question isn't whether you'll do it later. It's whether you'll look back one day and wish you had started today, because one day later runs out. One day, you wake up and realize that the version of yourself you were waiting to become, the one who's more confident, more disciplined, more ready, never arrived. Not because they weren't possible, but because they were built through the actions you kept postponing. And here's the thing, your future isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you shape with every choice, every habit, every small decision you make today. You don't wake up one morning suddenly transformed. You become that person step by step, in the quiet moments when you decide to act instead of delay. And those moments, they're happening now. So ask yourself, if not today, then when? If not you, then who? Because time will pass anyway. The only question is whether you'll spend it building the life you want or waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. Thanks for your time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. Also, feel free to share your thoughts or any questions you have in the comments below.